Hello everyone, Fanta here, you're watching FANTAVISION, and today we're doing another Tales from Retail. Yes, we're actually doing a Tales from Retail. It's been a while since a real one, like a couple weeks or something. I don't know. Anyway, today I'm drinking, we're not going to do it at the end, we'll do it right now. Enjoy by 1121 Unfiltered IPA by Stone Brewing. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know. It is 9.4%, so if I continue to drink this through the video, we'll see what happens. Today's Tales from Retail is coming from Carolina King, who is truly the king of ideas. I mean, he's given a ton, and if you haven't already, why not? Just shoot some ideas my way, especially in the Discord. Links down below. Please join. It's free. Why not? Come hang out. And today's idea is annoying coworkers, which kind of comes with the territory of working in retail because you are working with everybody. The only real gates to retail are, do you have a pulse? Do you breathe? Can you sort of function correctly in a normal society? If yes, you can work in retail. And because of that, yeah, you deal with a lot of very interesting people. Now, I couldn't conjure up specific cases right away. I had to look online, and I found a website that had these 7 types of annoying coworkers that you have to deal with and how to deal with them. Now, I ignored the how-to part because I wanted to just get down to what the people were like and how I dealt with them, because that's what the main idea was. How did I deal with those annoying coworkers? So let's start with the first type of annoying coworker, and that is the one who acts like your boss, which was rampant in Walmart. Thankfully, a lot of those people got shifted out, but a lot of people in Walmart really pretended to be your boss. This is also a huge thing in working in an office environment, because a lot of the people you're working with really treat you like you're their underling, even though you're helping them, and they're not above you. They're just a different rank. They're something completely different. They're in a completely different department. There's no seniority between the two of you. So when it happens, you gotta kind of relax. You gotta breathe in, breathe out, vent to your manager. Your manager laughs about it and goes, yeah, that person's a prick. And then you kind of just move on with your day. But you do put in a little slight in those emails going back, because you can't say anything directly, but you also can kind of address the fact that they're talking to you in this way. And you come back in a little bit of a smart way, a smart ass way, but subtle. You have to be subtle in everything, because you don't want to start drama and all that stuff, because it's not worth it. And like I said, my manager agrees with me, and everybody I work with agrees with me about certain people that just think they're holier than thou. So, yeah, that's more of an office thing. And also in Walmart, some of the people that did act like they were my boss either quit, got fired, or did become sort of my boss, but I didn't care because they didn't deserve the respect that their title came with for many, many reasons. Number 2 of the annoying people categories is the person that always needs your help. Now, I don't mind this unless they never learn the things you're teaching. I don't care if they've never done these things before and they're learning them for the first time. I don't mind walking people through it the first, 1 or 2 times. Maybe you forgot it the second time, that's fine. But I have to constantly remind you of what you're supposed to do makes me insane. And that happened at GameStop. But those people didn't last. Those people weren't hanging because their numbers were too low. The managers were dealing with the same thing I was. They just didn't last. They got sent to a different store to be their problem. They got rid of them. Or we just got rid of them. And even though this is a right to work state, a lot of these people weren't fired directly. They were just slowly given less and less hours until they finally went, okay, I get it, I quit. But again, I want to stress that I understand when people need help, but not repeatedly. And at Walmart, that wasn't too much of a thing because everybody was pretty much there before me and I was the new guy in the block. And the new people that came in, they were fine. They were okay. There weren't too many new people that got hired on in my department after me, so I really didn't have to deal with a whole lot of new people. And when we did get new people, I mean, you're put in the back room for like a week and you're constantly learning stuff. And when you come out, it's pretty easy. It's pretty self-explanatory job. It's Walmart. Number 3, the gossiper. Now, GameStop, this wasn't really much of a thing because it was such a tight-knit, small store. Not a whole lot of people worked there, and we were all really close. I mean, I don't think I really hated anybody at GameStop. There were a couple managers that pissed me off. In retrospect, I look back and I dislike them even more than I did back then because I kind of realized they're taking advantage of me. But at the time, GameStop was a pretty drama-free zone, whereas Walmart, every person would go to the back in electronics and just gossip about stuff, and I wanted nothing to do with it because I don't care. And that's how I dealt with it. I just didn't care. I didn't participate. I listened and then relayed it to people that were involved, like Eric, who had a lot of gossip thrown around about him for, you know Eric. I mean, he's got a big personality, so of course he does. You know what I'm saying, Eric? You know, he's probably watching this. But yeah, I didn't participate in any of it, and I didn't even bother trying to correct the story because it was impossible, these people. They're just going to believe what they're going to believe. It didn't matter what I had to say. And plus, I mean, nobody even remembered that I worked there. Even my managers forgot who I was because they all knew I was going to move on to another job as I did, and that it was just a temporary thing to keep myself in a house and having the lights on and able to eat occasionally. Number 4, this website it was called the Eeyore, which is the constantly negative person. Now, GameStop, again, didn't really have constantly negative people. We were all negative simultaneously whenever shit rolled downhill from corporate and they made us do stupid things. We all pretty much agreed with what was going on. I mean, there were a couple employees that drank the Kool-Aid and hail corporate and all that kind of stuff, but most of them understood that we're going to be in kind of a negative mood for a little bit, but we'd usually shake it off because our normal customers were pretty cool people. So, you know, that wasn't an issue. Walmart, that was all of us. That was pretty much all of us. I had like a anger and depression pin on from the movie, what's the emotion movie from Disney? I don't remember it. I don't know. I saw it once and then I was like, well, I saw that and that was okay. But they had all the different, disgust was one of them. I think might have had disgust as well. But we all had different emotion pins and they were all negative. Like maybe one person there had joy, but I don't think anybody did. I'm pretty sure we all just picked up the negative ones, put them on our vest and went, well, they're letting us use these. This is marketing, even though we all have like anger and disgust and fear. And I had anger and fear. That's what I had because I was angry that I had to deal with so many idiots at Walmart and I was afraid that I was going to be stuck working there forever. So I was like, these are freaking perfect. And everybody had these on because we were all Eeyores because it's Walmart. It was a terrible environment. Our managers treated us like children, even though we did the job perfectly even when they weren't in the store. We were constantly getting things done early. We were going above and beyond in most areas. We were constantly helping people. It's not like we just ignored them and talked. We were good employees, but they never treated us with any sort of respect. So, of course, that's going to breed negativity, and that was all of us. We were all Eeyores, and I didn't have to deal with anybody that was annoying because we were all feeling the same way. And you know what? Misery loves company, so it kind of somehow made the experience better, because I guess if like only a couple of us were miserable, it would be worse because it's like, oh, I'm alone in this, but instead it was like, we're all miserable. Number 5 is the old pal, which is basically when you work with a friend and now that you're constantly around them, you start realizing a lot of things that you don't like about them. They've got different values from you. They're not hard workers and you're picking up their slack and it's kind of ruining your friendship. I never had that problem. Everybody I worked with that was a friend already, which was namely Steven, and that's about it. It was great. We rarely got to even work together though, because they knew that we were friends. And then when I befriended Eric, I never really got to hang out with him because he was in wireless, I was in electronics, and we'd normally just swap because he hated being in wireless because when you're sitting in there, you're doing nothing and there's nothing to do unless a customer comes in. But when a customer does come in, the problem that they have is going to take a very long time and it's going to be a pain in the ass. But in electronics, I guess he found things to do. Like, he'd been working there much longer than me, so he knew more things that he could go above and beyond on. And I would happily switch with him, so I couldn't even hang out with Eric. I basically didn't hang out with any of my friends. And then I became friends with everybody at GameStop. So everybody that I worked with at GameStop became a friend, and it worked out just fine. And then at Walmart, I couldn't even work with my friends when I wanted to, but when I did work with them, we're not idiots, so we knew how to balance work and the fact that a friend was there. It's not very difficult. Number 6 is the ceaseless talker. So I didn't, again at GameStop, didn't really have that much of an issue because I want to be talking to somebody because otherwise I'm going to lose my mind. In fact, I had the opposite problem. There were many managers that I had and people that I worked with that I had nothing in common with. So there was like no conversation. Because of that, you just hear the ads playing on loop over and over and over. And that's it. And you desperately try to conjure up some sort of conversation, and then you find out they're a scumbag, and you're like, well, now I really don't want to talk to you. After I found out your life story, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, that was the worst part. But at Walmart, I occasionally had this problem, but it wasn't really an issue when I was working. It was more of like when I'm not working and I don't want to talk to these people. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you know about the hello there, tell me about your degrees and all that stuff. He basically he was the soul sucker. I mean, called him the soul sucker because it felt like your soul was being ripped out of your body as he continued to talk at you. Not with you, because with you is you are talking back. No. He just goes on and on and on and on and on, and you can't do anything about it. You're trying to leave, you're trying to go home, you're trying to clock out, you're trying to do something. Sometimes you're working, you're just trying to get something from the wireless center, and he's like, hello, and you're like, no, he's here, oh my God. But most of the time, he wasn't too much of an issue. I would just kind of glance in electronics as I was either shopping at Walmart or clocking out, and if he's there, I'm going to pick up my pace so I don't have to deal with it. That's how I dealt with him, and that's how I dealt with the people that didn't talk. Number 7, the coworker who takes all the credit. I feel like after looking at this list of the 7 most common types of annoying coworkers, I think I really got lucky, honestly. I mean, I have plenty of horror stories of these different places that I've worked and plenty of crappy people that I dealt with, but most of them were customers and not employees. I can't remember a single time that at GameStop we ever had our credit stolen from us. Like maybe like the manager would have more credit given to him, like, oh wow, you're doing a good job with managing your store and making sure that everybody hits their numbers. No. The employees at the store hit their numbers. The manager didn't do shit, okay? We hit those numbers. That's the only time we really didn't get credit where credit was due. However, whenever we didn't make numbers, now all of a sudden it's our fault. That was the main thing that was bad about GameStop. Walmart, there's really no credit to be given for anything. Nobody cares. There's like barely any projects that you could take credit from. I feel like this is definitely an office-focused one. And even working in an office, I haven't really had that issue. I, again, work with people that I actually enjoy working with, and yeah, I've gotten lucky, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like the main issue was when I worked in retail was the managers, the higher-ups, and the customers. Whereas the coworkers and most direct managers really weren't that bad. And credit was given where credit was due. So I didn't really have that problem. I didn't have to deal with it. Ever. That I can think of. And because I can't think of it, it must not have been that big of a deal. I mean, maybe behind the scenes, somebody was like, you know who organized those DVDs? I did it. I don't care. I don't care if somebody took credit for that. It's organizing DVDs. Who gives a shit? There are little things that maybe somebody was stealing credit for, but we are blatantly made aware that because we had degrees and they knew that we were going to move on to other companies, we weren't going to get promotions. So if somebody wanted to steal all my credit while I was working at Walmart, they can go right ahead, but I never had it happen to me right in front of my face. And at GameStop, it never really happened either. And thankfully, at my current office job, I haven't had it happen either. It seems like, in fact, my managers go out of their way to let me know that I'm doing a good job, which is awesome. But you know what? Maybe some of you out there have your own stories, and I'd love to read them in the comments. Please let me know if any of those 7 people you've had to deal with, how you dealt with those annoying coworkers, and maybe you're dealing with it now and how you're dealing with it. Let me know. I really am curious. And of course, like the video if you guys liked it. Really does mean a lot. Subscribe for more content. I'm putting out new videos every week. And of course, as always, have a fantastic day. See everybody. You know, the Tales from Retail Tuesday may have ended, but I'm still going to be putting these up. I'm still going to be putting up retail videos. Don't worry. Don't worry. Maybe I'll put them back on Tuesdays, but I've heard from Critical Penguins Zero that he had insider information that Wednesdays at like the late afternoon was the best time to put up videos. So I'm going to start experimenting with my retail videos at that time. I'm going to start experimenting with quite a few videos at that time. We'll see what happens. And I don't know. Of course, I'll be live streaming tomorrow, so definitely check that out. Follow me over on Twitter for more gaming news and just random thoughts on things. And I promise I'm not political, so that's kind of cool, right? One place to avoid that. I try to keep it that way as much as possible. And yeah, this beer, I don't know. I remember the first time I had it, I really enjoyed it. I don't know, this is Enjoy by 1/1/21. And I know it's, I'm dating the video, but whatever. January 11th, so it's 10 days after, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I mean, I've drank beer that is way older than that, and it was just fine. I think it's just a specific one. I don't know. Because of that high alcohol content, it's cutting through a lot of the normal flavor I get from an IPA. It's got that bitterness from the hops, but the fruit note, I feel this citrusy, kind of orangey fruit note from a hazy IPA, unfiltered, and then it's just being beaten down by that really high alcohol content. It's not terrible, but it's not my favorite.